friends, it's good to be back with you again and to be able to share a story with you. Today I have something in my hand that goes along with this story. Do you see what that is? Do you know what it is? It may look familiar to you. It's honey. Honey is a wonderful ingredient that we put in teas. Sometimes we bake with it. But honey is a very special gift that we are given to be able to enjoy. This is a clue about our story today. Our story is called Honey, Honey, Lion, and it's written and illustrated by one of my favorite authors and illustrators, Jan Brett. This book comes to us from Scholastic Incorporated, and we're very thankful to them for the permission to be able to read this book to you. But before we get started, I want to talk about some words that we're going to be finding in this story. Honey Badger. He's the main character, and you can see him right there on the front of the book. He's going to be one of our main characters in the story. Honey Guide, this is a real bird, and it's found in Africa. And do you know what this bird does? He guides people or animals to find a beehive where they can get honey. Isn't that an interesting trait for that bird? Traipsed. This may be a word that you haven't heard very much, but traipse means to kind of just walk along or amble along with no purpose or no particular destination. Papyrus. You're going to see this word in the story, and papyrus is like a dry grass, and it's found in marshes, and years ago in Bible times it was used, they made paper out of it and they wrote on it. Termites. Termites is an insect that eats wood. Now here in Georgia where I live, we have a problem sometimes with termites trying to eat houses that have wood. But you would not believe the termite mounds that we see in Africa. They're huge. And I've seen many of them when I've been there. You'll see a picture of one in the book that I'm going to read to you today. Burrow. If you studied about animals in school, you know that there are certain animals that burrow into the ground. They make holes and channels into the ground so that they can be sheltered and be safe. Okay, are you ready to get started? Now, when I read this story, I want you to be looking for the lesson or the moral that's going to be in this story, because it has a lesson to teach all of us. Let's find out what that is. And enjoy these pictures. They are so fabulous. Again, our story comes from Africa, but it's just all over Africa, not any one particular country. In Africa, the honey guide and the honey badger are partners when it comes to honey. The little bird follows a bee to its hive, and then she leads the honey badger there to break it open with his strong claws. Together they share the sweetness, and that is the way it has always been. Don't you love those pictures? Look at that. I hope that you get a chance to find this book yourself so that you can really take in all of the artwork that's on the pages. Maybe this day Badger was hungrier than usual. Maybe he forgot about Honey Guide, who showed him the way. Or could he have been thinking, my strong claws do all the work. Whatever the reason that day, Badger would not share. Can you imagine? Look, he's taking all of that honey to himself. Honey Guide scolded Badger as he waddled back to the jackalberry tree, his tummy almost touching the ground. She fussed and fumed as he tried to fit into his burrow. Finally, she cried out for all the animals to hear, "No fair! No fair!" Soon all the guinea hens were broadcasting the news. Honey Guide is in a major rage, meaning she was really upset. But Badger didn't hear. He was sound asleep, smiling, snoring, and hiccuping from his big meal. Grump! Badger roared out the loudest hiccup of all, and its deep, low rumble gave Honey Guide an idea. The next morning, Badger woke hungry, his tummy flat like a pancake. That's when Honey Guide flew by, heading over the great gray baobab. "Honey, honey," she cried, grinning. The little bird zigzagged over its large roots. Pitter-patter. Badger ran after her. Pitter-patter. The details in these pictures are so great. Honey Guide flew low across the water hole. Splish, splash. Badger paddled after her. Splish, splash. Why do you think he's making louder noise than her? Could it be because he's so much bigger? Honey Guide glided to the top of a termite mound and bounced on one foot. Sprong. Badger scrambled to the top and bounced off. Sprong. Look at that termite mound. And they look just like that, only a lot of times they're darker brown. Honey Guide landed on a hollow log. It echoed as she stomped along. Boom, boom. Badger hurried to catch up. Boom, boom. Next, Honey Guide flitted through a stand of papyrus. Tall, dry weeds waved back and forth. Clickety-clack. Badger traipsed along muttering, "Where is that honey?" The papyrus rattled as he went by. Clickety-clack. Honey Guide led him through a field of golden bristle grass. Swish, swish. Badger huffed and puffed, but the thought of the delicious meal waiting for him kept him going. Swish, swish. By now, Badger was tired and wet, itchy, and sore. But he didn't slow down because Honey Guide was just ahead of him. She flashed her wings, fanned her tail, and dove under an acacia tree. Badger charged in and after her, singing triumphantly, "Honey, honey, lion!" Look at that lion in there. Oh my. Don't you think he was surprised? They probably both were. Lion, lion, lion! Badger turned on his tail and ran. Swish, swash, swish, swish through the tall grass. Clickety-click into the papyrus. Boom, boom over the hollow log. Sprong over the termite mound. Splish, splash through the water hole. Pitter-patter over the baobab roots. Badger dashed into his burrow. Honey Guide cheered. In a flash, Badger was far away from the entrance as he could be. Right behind him was Lion's huge paw, batting the air, but he could not reach him. And that's the closest any animal could be to an angry lion and live to tell the tale. That evening, Mongoose squeaked to Elephant, who trumpeted to Hippo, who bellowed to Warthog, who squealed to Bishop Bird, who piped to Hyena, who whooped to Zebra, who snorted to Giraffe, who was overheard by Guinea Hen, who bugled it far and wide. It was the bush telegraph, and it said, "If Honey Guide leads you to a beehive, be sure and reward her, or next time she will lead you to a lion." It reminds me a lot of that story of when you go on a bear hunt and you go make all the motions to go on it. This one is very similar to that. But what do you think the lesson was that was learned in here? I think it was a lesson for all of us to learn that we need to share. There's kindness in sharing. And so if Honey Badger had shared like he did in the beginning, all of that wouldn't have happened. So boys and girls, find something today that you can share with someone else and make them happy. And until next time, see you later.